Welcome back to Curtain Call. We've got a couple of guests from Best Little Whorehouse in Texas with us, Ron Smith and KELLIE WRIGHT. But we've got our intern, Cassie. Cassie. She's going to give a little audition information for you. If you have shows that you're part of or producing and you want to get some information out on auditions or when your shows are going to perform, shoot out an email to curtaincallemail@gmail.com or throw a post up on Facebook or all the other channels. I think there's a phone number out there too for those of you with that old technology. But here's Cassie.
All right, only one audition for today. It's for the leader of the pack. It's musical. And the auditions are July 7th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and July 8th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can audition at the Plaza Hotel, the 3rd floor. And if you'd like any more information, go to vegascallboard.com. Again, that's vegascallboard.com.
Fantastic. Thanks, Cassie.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah. Been a fantastic guest.
I try.
Great. So, again, we know that there's always a lot of theater here in town, and by all means, we want to make sure we get that information out there because we support the arts as well.
Like we said, you know, if you guys have anything that's coming up, you know, shoot it out to us because we're just checking the Vegas Callboard website, and that's the last musical of the Super Summer Theater lineup that's having auditions. And like we said earlier, it's the new theater company, the Neon Jungle Productions. I don't know anything about it. I know Courtney Sheets is auditioning, or the director rather, producing director, and it's going to be at the Insurgo Theater at the Plaza Hotel where auditions are held. So
I have a question for you, Erik. I am involved actively in the local community theater scene, but what are some websites or ways for people to find out about auditions here in town?
There's this really, really cool radio show.
Yeah? Tell me more.
I don't know. Here's the thing. The best thing to do is to there's a lot of people are going the Facebook route now. I would find they're setting up their own little pages for the theater companies in town. Best thing to do is to like them, friend them, and kind of stay in touch that way because they usually are very good and proactive about their own projects. VegasCallboard.com is a one that's I found generally used by Super Summer Theater and very few others, frankly, because people probably don't know about it.
Don't know. That's my problem. I just don't know about them.
I just don't know. www.vegascallboard.com, and it is an open call board. You can post an audition for your project there. That's where we're pulling this information from today. But, you know...
Yeah, there's Lysander, who is in Best Little Whorehouse. He's got a podcast with... couple of friends of ours, Max and Ben.
Huge shout out to our friends.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the Las Vegas Theater Arts production show, LV Taps, is a great way to find out what's going on in town as well.
Yeah,
LV Taps. Forgive me, correct me, Ben, Max, if it's lvtaps.org or lvtaps.com.
I know
you can find them on Stitcher, but they do a podcast, and part of their show every week is giving out those auditions so that people who like Keriann just can't find them out, you know.
Well, we're looking forward to working in collaboration with LV
Absolutely.
Taps. And I know for a fact, have a fan page on Facebook that you can get that information to them as well. And we're going to kind of tag team and slap each other a high five back and forth so that we can hit up two different demographics and hopefully draw everybody in.
And for those directing out there, go ahead and like Miss Keriann Parks on her Facebook page or her teapot, and tell her when to come out because she is
lots of information. Yeah, there's an awful lot of information that we haven't touched on that we will probably in weeks to come about Keriann and her projects, and she's a nanny and she does wonderful things with videos for children and their parents and adults primarily, and everything from games to learning activities to
specifically on the early childhood development and what your child is experiencing and capable of doing. So many parents underestimate their little ones. So I definitely want to emphasize that. More to come in weeks, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of underestimating, there are too many shows in the Las Vegas Valley that people kind of glaze over just simply because they don't know anything about them, or their first glance at the title or what they preconceived notions, or, you know, you talk about Vegas. I can't get over how many people think, oh, Vegas is Sin City, and you know, it's like, yeah, there's
no culture here whatsoever.
And it's like, I get it. I understand why it's named that, and I get it. If you want to live in Vegas or visit Vegas for that reason, by all means, you got that opportunity. But, you know, living here for 11 years now, there's a wonderful, quiet backdrop to this city that a lot of people don't understand or respect, for that matter. I would argue that the arts community in this city is very much the same way. There are those that have preconceived notions with regards to what is available to them, both as a patron and as an artist. And our guests today, KELLIE Wright and Ron Smith from Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, are in a production that exemplifies that statement. This is a great show. It's being very well received out at the Plaza Hotel and Casino. And it's run 7 days a week. There's no excuse to not take a second off and go out and see this show. I mean, everybody has Sunday off. What better way to, you know, follow up confession with than the best
visit to the Chicken Ranch.
Than that. There's some tender moments.
Oh,
and
sure.
Moments very motherly.
And this is great. You know, for those actors in town. This is one of the shows that it's Vegas cast. You know, you look at the Cirque shows, and you know, you look at the big productions, and you know, they're pulling from New York and LA and wherever else, but there is talent galore in this production, and that's something that a lot of people don't realize, you know, in Las Vegas, that, you know, there is a slew of very talented actors in this town. Yeah,
the girls are great. I mean, they're great dancers. They're beautiful. They can all sing. They sing Hard Candy Christmas, which I think is a song that I think most people you know, recognize and act. And
well, and you said something very important there. I was kind of you know, glazing it over a little bit, but it's not a show that has been successful or lasting or has impact and has been brought to this venue unless there's some substance to it, unless there's a storyline or some moments that are legitimate, theatrical, genuine moments that are you know, illustrating life. So it's not just pizzazz and spectacle and shocking elements. It's not nothing. It's more of it's a great show. You know, when you were talking
the title, unfortunately, has a stigma associated with it.
Well, of course.
But I you know, in my opinion, even if there were, you know, those raw elements, you got shows like Book of Mormon out there now on Broadway, and you know, there could be a very, you know, great opportunity for the resurgence of this production.
Yeah. Well, no, it's the best Little Whorehouse.
That's true. It's not.
we're just not talking about any whorehouse.
It's not the worst. It's not even the mediocre one. We're talking about the best one. And just a little one. Just a little whorehouse.
We were talking.
Dirty going on.
We were talking in the break, and I was getting Ron to talk a little story because. Yeah.
Keriann's like, I love his voice.
But you know, we started off the segment with regards to the historical aspect of the Chicken Ranch, and you started going into some of the aspects that people may not know historically about the Chicken Ranch, and you know, we can get a general idea of the story, you know, and obviously we can't get the full amount of it without seeing the show.
Right.
But you were referring to some historical aspect with the police officers and the sheriff. His original name was TJ.
The officer that it was based on is TJ Flournoy.
Okay.
And Edna Milton.
Right.
Was the true name of the Miss Mona character. She actually just passed away this past February.
Oh wow!
In Phoenix.
Before we was
right before we were.
Away.
Oh no!
Yeah. But one of the things that kept the Chicken Ranch going all of those years, one was the clientele.
Well, that tends to.
I mean,
it helps.
But I mean, you had
They got a profit
state
margin.
officials, you had local officials, you had police, you had college students. You know, there was a Texas A&M Texas U game every year. Whichever team won, they got to go to the Chicken Ranch.
Oh my gosh! Woo! Now they just dump Gatorade on people.
Exactly.
I was going to say they maintain a low overhead. So
Going
on.
There you go. But one of the things, besides that type of clientele,
the eye contact,
was the criminal clientele that might visit the Chicken Ranch, and there was no romantic relationship between the true characters of Miss Mona and Ed Earl. It was a business in that
He's talking about in real life.
in real life,
and
the girls would be with guys and the guys would talk. So every day he had a direct line to the chicken ranch. He would call up every day and say, "What information you have for me?" And they cleared so many crimes because of the tips he got from the chicken ranch.
Now, was this considered a form of extortion? I mean, did they threaten to close down the ranch if information wasn't provided?
Oh,
or
no,
if
this is just the way it had been. His predecessor did the same thing.
No freebies for the
Well, I mean,
unknown.
they did have extra donuts there.
Was there a coupon day? I mean, what the heck?
Extra donuts. That's a euphemism for our listening audience.
Jeez Louise. Well, now, is that part of the story of the musical version, or what? I know that we have this crusading television guy that's kind of trying to...
That's what it's, that's what the storyline is.
Okay, and so
the musical.
Okay, well, I love the whole, when we kind of draw back into the historical element of it, because I don't want to sell that short either, you know, because this is kind of based on a true story here, folks.
Oh, definitely. And Marvin Zindler, who is the true reporter, Melvin P. Thorpe, in the musical, his character is based so closely to the original man. I mean, he had a wig that had to be coiffed just perfectly every day, and he would not come down to even breakfast with his family until it was perfectly coiffed. And this is what kind of put him and his career on the path as a crusader, was shutting down the chicken ranch, and from there he continued to crusade for years and years in Texas area and Austin area and everything.
Did he ever try to...
that plays the part is hysterical. It's so funny.
What's his name again?
Quentin.
Oh, wow.
Walters.
Quentin Walters. My daddy Warbucks 10 years ago.
Oh, my gosh.
He is
oh,
hysterical.
Lord. Is he still bald?
Oh, yeah.
Except for the coiffed wig.
Except for the coiffed wig. Coiffed, I've never heard that word before. I'm going to use it all the time
It's
now.
big in Texas, quaffing.
Quaffed. I love your quaff.
Let's give them the information again. If you guys are interested in seeing the best little whorehouse in Texas,
Which you should be by now.
yeah, by now you should be. It's over at the Plaza Hotel and Casino. Tickets are $59, but they're in the, what magazine is it again?
24/7.
24/7. There is a coupon in there for a 2-for-1 if you are interested in that.
And I think half price tickets or...
Yeah, I mean, we're, of course, with most of the brokers in town, too.
Yeah, you know something? If you Google this, you're going to probably get lots of hits because this is their second month in performing this show 7 days a week. You're going to be hearing about it. So hit online, try to get some tickets. You can also call 1-800-793-9332. Again, 1-800-793-9332. Last but not least, of course, you can tune in this week at KSHP during the radio auction hours, and you can bid on tickets. We're going to have a whole bunch of tickets that these guys brought in for us. Thank you. That you guys can...
That we didn't steal,
We didn't steal them. No, they're not hot.
I have a question. Does the Plaza have any packages as well for this show? Any dinner packages to go along with it? Because I've heard rumor about such thing, or that it will be coming soon. So
possibly coming soon. Is it on the menu yet? In that restaurant?
Right.
We have
chicken and waffles and show.
Island Sushi had
sushi.
like
Chicken and
special...
Chicken and waffles and show.
Yeah, I mean, I think some with Island Sushi and Hash House A Go-Go, and they were also talking possibly also with Oscars.
Okay. Oh, wow, great. Well, let's take one more commercial. We'll come back in and we'll finish up the show. We're here with Kelly Wright and Ron Smith from the best little whorehouse in Texas. It's Curtain Call with Erik Ball.
Not the mediocre one. The best.
The best little whorehouse in Texas.
I'll uproot and I'll crusade. I can smell corruption and I'll fight it to the top. Love this copulation going on.